said Dejanay Carrington should be suspended for Game 2. I agree. Insanely mocked Caitlin Clark after getting called for a foul during a game. Fans are talking about a potential boycott around the WNBA because of the treatment of Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark got poked in the eye during her WNBA playoff debut. But the wild part is this. She says that's not even why she struggled. So, what actually went down on the court? Picture it. Clark steps into her very first playoff game. The arena is electric, and suddenly, bam, Dejanay Carrington's finger hits her right in the eye. Painful, right? Anyone would assume that moment threw her completely off. But here's the twist. Clark insists the eye poke had zero impact on her performance. So, if that wasn't the issue, what caused the tough night for the rookie superstar? Clark got plenty of clean looks at the rim, but the shots just refused to fall, like the basket had an invisible shield around it. Still, there has to be more beneath the surface. Was it nerves? Playoff pressure? Or something everyone's overlooking? Let's break down what really happened and why Clark's surprising admission changes the entire narrative. Because believe it or not, the eye poke isn't the first unexpected challenge she's faced as a pro. Her historic college run created massive expectations, but the WNBA hit her with a reality check early. What happened in those first few games that made people question how smooth Clark's rise to superstardom would be?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me, but no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually.
It was not called a foul, by the way. It should have been a foul after I've seen it. They caught Caitlin Clark in the eye. Ultimately, she ended up getting a black eye out of it.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's wild journey from college legend to WNBA rookie. You think you know the story, but there's a key part of her transition almost nobody mentions. Start with her college days. Clark was unstoppable. Record after record fell, and she dominated so completely that she walked away with the Naismith College Player of the Year award. Naturally, everyone expected her to enter the WNBA and take over immediately. But reality had other plans. She joins the Indiana Fever, and suddenly, they start the season 0-4. For losses straight out of the gate. It felt like someone unplugged Clark's superpower meter. So what happened? Rookie nerves? Team chemistry? Or something deeper? Here's where it gets interesting. Even with a shaky start, Clark refused to let a slow beginning define her rookie campaign. Instead, she rewrote the story.
How?
By breaking the rookie assist record with 337 assists. Yes, 337. That's insane. It's like Clark decided, fine, if I'm not winning early, I'll just break some records while I'm at it. And she didn't stop there. Clark went full superhero mode and became the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double, double digits in points, rebounds, and assists all in the same game. Who does that? Caitlin Clark, that's who. Then she topped even that by dropping a jaw-dropping 19 assists in a single game, the most ever by a rookie. She was handing out assists like candy at a parade. You'd think with all these achievements she'd be bragging non-stop. But here's the twist. She doesn't care about the personal accolades at all. When asked about her historic numbers, Clark just shrugged and said, "It's cool, but I really don't care. I'm just trying to help my team."
It wasn't intentional by any means. You just watched the play. It wasn't intentional.
Looking directly at her, bringing her hand down directly at her eye. To me, she committed a crime and a police report should be filed.
That was the moment people realized Caitlin Clark wasn't just a rookie on a hot streak. She was a future superstar in the making. While everyone else obsessed over her numbers, Clark stayed locked in on one mission, making her team better. And we can't skip her three-point shooting. Clark shattered the rookie record with 122 threes, the second most in any WNBA season. She wasn't just shooting, she was practically launching fireballs every night. But just as it looked like nothing could slow her down, the playoffs arrived. And what happened next stunned both fans and analysts. How did a record-breaking rookie suddenly struggle when the spotlight was brightest? Picture it. Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sunday. A playoff matchup packed with pressure. The arena is electric. Expectations? Off the charts. All eyes locked on Caitlin Clark. This was supposed to be her big moment. But buckle up, things took an unexpected turn. Clark's performance wasn't her usual highlight reel. She finished with 11 points and 8 assists, not awful for most players, but for Clark, it felt like watching Superman struggle to lift a backpack. And the Fever didn't just lose, they were blown out, 93-69. Yeah, that one hurt. So what happened? Was it the pressure? The stage? The Suns' defense? Here's where it gets interesting. Clark's shooting was way off. She made just 4 of 17 shots, and from 3 she went 2 for 13, like someone had glued a lid on the rim. But the story doesn't end there. It wasn't only the missed shots. Clark admitted she had some defensive breakdowns too. In her own words, "Our defense could have been a little bit better."
Many of these girls in the WNBA, but she's at the top of the list along with Kennedy Carter in Chicago and Angel Reese. DeJounte has a history with Caitlin Clark.
I had a few lapses on the defensive end. That's some honest self-assessment from the rookie star herself. And while Clark was struggling, Connecticut's Marina Mabrey was having the night of her career. Coming off the bench, she erupted for 27 points, not just impressive, but record-setting. Mabrey now holds the mark for the most points ever scored by a bench player in a WNBA playoff game. Talk about salt in the wound. The entire Fever squad seemed to fall into the same slump. They missed 40 of 67 shots. That's like trying to fill a pool with a cracked bucket. With numbers like that, catching up to the Sun was nearly impossible. But here's what really stands out. Clark isn't making excuses. She's not leaning on the eye poke, rookie nerves, bad luck, nothing. She's owning her mistakes and keeping the focus on growth. That's the kind of mentality that separates the average players from the legends. So, what does this all mean for Clark and the Fever? Is this just a temporary setback or a sign of deeper issues? One thing is clear, Clark has never been the type to fold under pressure. She's faced adversity before and turned it into record-breaking success. Why would this be any different? Her performance shocked fans, but her post-game reaction shocked them even more. Instead of sulking or pointing fingers, Clark delivered a message that made the entire sports world pause. You'd expect frustration or disappointment after her roughest outing of the year, but Clark came out with a mindset that changed the whole conversation. No blame. No excuses. No panic. She said something no one saw coming. I think it's a good learning opportunity. Not just for basketball, but for life. A learning opportunity. Most players would be crushed after a game like that, but not Caitlin Clark. She's treating this loss like a stepping stone, a chance to level up, a doorway to greatness.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA. DeJounte Carrington mocking Caitlin Clark on the court, played a very physical game with her. DeJounte Carrington stabbed Caitlin Clark with her fingernails right in the eye.
But that's not the end of it. Clark practically turned into her own analyst after the game. She didn't give cliché answers or empty lines. She broke down her performance like a veteran who's been in the league for years. "I took care of the ball better than I usually do. We just have to find the positives," she said. Imagine that, finding silver linings in a night where she shot 4 for 17. That's elite-level mindset right there. And remember that ankle injury she dealt with earlier in the season? Clark didn't use it as an excuse either. "I turned it pretty good. It's hard to get into a flow," she admitted. But did she complain? Not even close. She said it matter-of-factly and kept it moving. That's the kind of toughness that separates stars from superstars. Now here's the wild part. After getting completely outplayed in her playoff debut, you might think Clark would be shaken. But nope. She doubled down on her faith in her team. "I believe we can come in here and win this series, one game at a time," she declared. That isn't just confidence, that's pure fearlessness. And she didn't stop at basketball. Clark started dropping life lessons like she was giving a motivational speech. "Not everything's going to be perfect right away," she said. It sounded like a quote from a self-help book, except she wasn't preaching. She was proving it with how she handled the entire night. And just when you think Clark is done dropping wisdom, she hits us with another line. "Every little thing is a little battle, and it's all about how you approach it." That's not just confidence, That's full-on Jedi Master philosophy. She's not only playing basketball, she's delivering a masterclass in mental resilience. So, what's behind Clark's unshakable optimism? Is it just media polish? Or is this the key to her success? Think about it. Most rookies would fall apart after a rough playoff debut. But Clark? She's turning it into jet fuel. Here's the truth about Caitlin Clark's first playoff game. It's not about the stumble. It's about the comeback. She's not sulking, not pointing fingers. She's zoomed out, looking at the overall journey. "I think you can see the progress this team is making," she said. Imagine that, fresh off a tough loss, and she's still focused on growth. And here's the part that really stood out. Clark didn't blame her teammates, the refs, or the pressure. She took responsibility, saying, "It's just some little things we do to ourselves." That's the mindset that turns promising rookies into all-time greats. So, what's next for Clark? More records? Absolutely. More assists? No doubt. More deep threes? You can bet on it. But the real excitement is watching how she bounces back from this moment. Trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next in Caitlin Clark's WNBA story.